This is delicious. And I do think that I can use this rind to make my watermelon pickles. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'll bring you back for that. I'm Crystal with Whole New Perspective. Welcome to my channel. If you haven't subscribed, please consider doing so. And please give the video the thumbs up. I'm taking you along with me on this journey of making watermelon rind pickles. This is the rind of the watermelon. Now I still have to go in, cut off the green. I don't usually keep any of the pink, so I'll still cut some of that off. But guys, this watermelon was really sweet. It's probably one of the sweetest watermelons I've had, and I don't remember how long. Now this came from the rind. Normally it's not edible, but it is very sweet. And so we have actually been eating that as well. Next, I'm going to go ahead and take off as much pink as I can, as well as the green rind, and I'll bring you back and I'll show you the next step in this process. This is the second watermelon. I wasn't going to show it, but I decided I wanted to show it because look at how thick that is. So this is going to make really good pickles, watermelon rind pickles as well. This is both of the watermelons. I've cut the green off and most of the pink. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a gallon of water to 1 cup of salt, and I'm just going to let it sit in that overnight. You really, if you don't want to do it overnight, you need to let it sit at least 6 hours in that salt water brine. So that's what I'm going to do next, and then I'll bring you back tomorrow. So it is the next day. I've rinsed them in the salt water. Now I just have them on the stove. I put some water on top of them. I'm just going to let them boil until they get tender. Maybe 15 to 20 minutes, we'll see. And after they get tender, I'll bring you back. So I boiled my rinds until they are soft. Now what I'm going to do is just make my brine. I've set them aside, taken them out of the water, and I'm going to make my brine. And to do that, I'm going to use 3 cups of this is not apple cider vinegar. You can use apple cider vinegar, but I'm going to use 3 cups of this white distilled vinegar. I may use a cup of apple cider in 2 of those. So I'll use that, then I'll use 3 cups of water. I'm gonna have 7 cups of sugar. I'm gonna use 1 tablespoon of this whole allspice. I'll use 3 tablespoons of whole cloves. I will use 1/4 teaspoon of mustard seeds, and I'll use 3 whole cinnamon sticks. And what I'm gonna do is I'm going to put the cloves, mustard seeds, and allspice in this. I saw someone using this several years ago and I thought it was neat. And so this will just close and lock down, and I don't have to worry about, you know, it staining or anything like that. It'll wash out really nicely. I do have cheesecloth and all those other things, but I like this and I think it'll do really great. Now, confession, I do have 1 jar of watermelon rinds. And I have been holding on this for some time. I do like these, but for me, they are quite time consuming, especially during normal canning season, which usually watermelons are during the summer. So I made this in 2019. I canned it in September 1st, 2019. This is what it looks like right now. Excuse me. So September 1st, 2019. And I really have just been holding on to it because I do like these, and they are time consuming to make. So I'm going to try to make a double batch this time with the watermelon rinds that I have. But I'm gonna open this up, and there we go. What I did with these was I put a piece of the cinnamon stick down in them. That's what I'm noticing. So they do look good. Still look really good. You see that? So let me just taste it. Smells good. These are good. They're good. Now they are softer than they were when I first put them in here. It's been almost 4 years. But they are good. So I can eat this now. And I'm looking forward to having the rest of these on my shelf, my pantry shelf, and I may be able to make some more before the end of the season. We'll see. I want to be kind of particular with the watermelon that I'm using, and so we'll see. This really is good. So I'm going to bring you along with me as I go ahead and make this new batch. You'll see that it shouldn't be as dark. It depends. My sugar is a darker sugar, and if I use apple cider vinegar, it still will be dark as well. So I'm going to go ahead and get going. I'll show you and bring you along the way as I make this delicious watermelon rind pickles. I have everything in here. Now my syrup is a little darker. I use organic cane sugar and it is dark, but I also decided to put in a cup of apple cider vinegar along with 2 cups of the distilled vinegar. They're all 5% acidity, and that's what's important to this recipe. So I'm just going on and just going to let all the sugar dissolve, and the sugar I believe has dissolved, but I want to get more of the flavors of the spices that we have in here. And then I'll go ahead and add my watermelon rinds to it. I went ahead and added 2 more sticks of cinnamon. I tasted it and it tastes really good. So now I'm just going to go ahead and bring it to a boil. I'll let it boil for 10 minutes. Then I'll add my watermelon rind, and I'll cook that until it is transparent. But I'll bring you back and show you. I have all of the rinds in here now. I'm just going to let them stay in here until the rinds become translucent. Then we'll go ahead and jar them up. Some are becoming translucent and others are not. That's one that's not. Let's see. There are several over here that are. So I should, one that is and one that is not. Should be, they all should be translucent shortly. Not a lot left, a lot of time in here. So really roughly an hour before they become translucent. They are translucent. I've taken them off the heat, getting ready to fill my jars, and I'll bring you back. I'm using my steam canner for the very first time. I'm canning these watermelon rind pickles. Now these, I ended up with 5 pints, and I have a pint of the brine that I'm also going ahead and jarring up. So I'm going to go ahead and put this lid on, get it up to temperature. I'm going to let them go for 10 minutes. So they're processed for 10 minutes. And with the steam canner, you leave it on for an additional, you leave the lid on for an additional 5 minutes. So I'm excited about this. This is my first time actually processing anything in this steam canner. I've practiced with it, so I'm pretty comfortable with it. And we'll see how everything actually cans and seals. Steam is steady coming out. The temperature is where it's supposed to be. So I've set my timer for 10 minutes. I'm gonna let it go for 10 minutes. Then I'll cut off the electric, the cad coat, and let it sit for 5 minutes. Well, the processing time is over. The 5 minutes is done. Now all I need to do is take the lid off. Guys, I am excited about this. This is my first time canning, as I said, in this steam canner. And I did everything to the directions. So let's just see if it's going to seal. I may not know that until tomorrow. Remember to take your lids off. I hear them. They're sealing, guys. Hear that? So here we go. So this is what they look like. You hear that one is sealed when I set it down? This is just the actual brine. Looks like most of them have already sealed. There's still plenty of water down in this steam canner, so I'm feeling pretty good about it. I'll take the others out. So guys, I really just want to thank you for coming along with me. This is the first time that I've used the steam canner, as I said, and I feel pretty good about it. I did have to make sure that I was adjusting my time properly to ensure that the steam continued to come out, and it did at a steady flow. So I am done. Again, if you want to join me with my canning, all you need to do is enter hashtag JarredUp2023. If you would like, please go ahead and tag me on that so I know what you are jarring up, because we need to make sure we are getting as much jarred up as we can. So thank you guys again so much for coming along with me. I did show you what they look like. I'm still quite excited about that. So you see that this is a process to making watermelon rind pickles, and that's why I don't make them that often, but they really are delicious and well worth the time that you put into it. Thanks again.